Signal Ultra versus BSB. Horns Up versus Laban Ultra. Shinbu back to the lineup. Parehas tayo nag-agree na para sa atin, lamang Signal Ultra dito. Yung pick pa lang, no? Parang, but this time, nagkaroon ng bagong flavor ang BSB. And I think, one thing na kailangan nila i-adjust is to be, alam mo yun, parang careful on their invades. No? Nakuha sila ng mga kills, pero nasa objective, parang biglang nawala. Sa tingin mo, ano pa kaya yung mga, like, ano ba yung certain na mindset kapag gano'n? When you're going to invade, going to, alam mo yun, going to team fight. Parang ang daming nasayang ng BSB kanina eh.
Yeah, it's the same mindset. There are two mindsets when you go for an invade. The first is how you counter, how you get countered on the invade. You always assume that the enemy will react when you invade. And what cost? Ano yung cost? That is always a risky one, no? Pero what cost? Merong mga matatalinong player na when they get invade, ang isa sa mga response is iti-trade lang nila. So, what you'd want to do is, when you're accounting for the cost, hanggang gaano ka lang mag-i-invade? Gaano mo kapag gagawin yung invade, no? At kung mag-respond sila, gaano ka magko-commit? Kasi for example, nag-respond sila. Nanalo kayo, siguro with a 1 kill lead on that invade. Pero may ibang mga teams na iti-trade ka agad yun. Paano kung trade sa Torre? So parang ano din, di ba? Parang wala din.
Parang wala din. Parang nasayang yung puhunan.
One is the response to your invade. The short-term response, yung mga malalapit kung paano gagawin yung laban ng invade. And the other one is the cost for it with accounting in accordance to time. Meron lamang, parang pag nag-i-invade ka talaga, meron lang time limit yon. Pag sumobra ka doon, magugulat ka may kapalit, magugulat ka may nag-i-split push na sa inyo. Things like that. And also, yung start of composition in itself, di ba?
Oo nga eh. This time, they have a Roger na right now. And one strength ng Roger dito, pwede siya mag-sneaky eh. Mag-sneaky steal. No?
Pero napapansin kanina sa BSB, Ana was really good on the show. Like, hyper, di ba? As in, side lane to, hindi nga off lane. He was really participating into the fights. He was really kicking the hell out of Imba DJ. Pero I cannot but feel na he was doing that play solo. If you compare it to NXP, whenever this like hyper carry or like mga Uncle Breaker plays Renegade, may follow up yung NXP, di ba? May follow up lagi yung NXP eh. And ayun, I cannot but feel na maybe kailangan i-communicate properly ni BSB whenever they do this kind of plays. Whenever like Ana tries to be really hyper and tries to be very aggressive on his solo play. Ana holding attacks, maximum uptime pa para sa tops. Mas may sense na mas madali backupan ng Tams kaysa sa Cho kanina.
Yes. Anyway, Kuya Shinbu, let's see kung gagawin pa rin ni Ana ang playstyle na ganyan. Dahil mukhang Tams siya ngayon na nandoon sa side lane. So ka nagkakaroon ng maliitang skirmishes dito sa bandang gitna as Cap 1 will pop the law of punishment habang nandyan nagugulo din si Chujin sa kanyang mga sites dito, sad sites. Team Signal Ultra right now, sinagot dito yung wave clear na gusto nilang gawin, but BSB, wow, now preparing for the purple take. Meanwhile, there you go, there is the wolf bounce coming in, sabay may baby bouncing ball, magkakaroon tayo ng pause. Shinbu, mukhang BSB ngayon nakuha ng gusto nilang tempo, may response kayang gagawin ang Signal Ultra dito.
Yeah, actually, gusto ko sana makita kagad kung sino yung nakakuha ng buff because that is very, very important. And I think, may invade talaga nangyayari doon. So, sa fight na yun, napaka-decisive na kaagad. You can actually see the power kaagad din nung Khalid. And sa mga about the Khalid is, yung kawalan na naman ng mana, another hero na wala na naman.
Hindi mo kailangan mag-Azuri Blade agad. Mag-endless battle.
Para sa I cannot really think na bakit ang gawa ng mga heroes na walang mana. Although yes, they are fun. Hindi mo kailangan i-micromanage yung mana, pero parang ano ba to dahil hindi ba pwede mabalance? Mas madali i-balance yung walang mana kasi pang fine-tune yung mana eh, 'di ba? Restricted limitations yun sa isang hero eh. So siguro parang dinisregard ng but ayun kasi sila mga non-mana based na heroes, 'di ba? Just keep on learning your spell.
Speaking of non-mana based na hero, si Ana ay non-mana based din. Kanina nung so now yung Tams niya ngayon ay nagta-try ng invade. Ang layo actually ng Signal Ultra dito para sa sagot parang nagpaunahan sila ng wave clear eh. Kasi again, importante ang unang wave clear. Ayan, lalo na sa mid lane. Kasi pauna sa Litos yan eh. At pauna sa mid lane. Oo, nagkaagawan.
Naagaw ni Drixtol. And
Okay.
it was denied against Hades. That is big para sa side dito ng BSB.
At saan pumapasok yung sinabi mo nga kanina na Drix can pull off a sneaky invade. Level 3 na siya ngayon at mukhang papasok pa siya sa purple. Ayun, yung knock up on the Tyrant's Revenge. At mayroon papasok dito ang rotation ring pero may knockout. Si Trevor on the Searing Torrent. Nice knockback pala, hindi knockout. Tamang knockout para Searing Torrent dito. 2 purple buff, Shinbu, para kay Drix.
Yes, and that leads him into level 4. Hindi na siya basta Drix. Bobby Drix na siya, tol.
Bobby Drix na siya, do. Evolve.
Ang orange buff na yan, tol, eh. Level 4 na nga. Maganda yung skills ng Bruno dito. They're poised to actually take a fight. Maybe convert for 4-man gank, a 4-man unit onto the top lane. At yun, umadvance Chujin.
Ang ganda nung ang ganda ng tulak ng side. But let's see Chujin right now just using the Desert Tornado to clear out the waves in the top lane. Mukhang nag-aabang pa dito si Imba, DJ, Drix. There you go. Pinap niya na yung kanyang 6 sense. Mukhang nakita niya si Imba dito. Meanwhile, in the bottom side naman, Shin, Wilson. Sakto, nakapang-basketball pa siya. Nakapang-basketball pa siya.
Pero ginagawa ko, pinapapanas sa mentality para ma-corner si Wilson dito. And there is a reward. Nakuha si Ana.
Nakuha nga bigla si Ana dito as Cap 1 still with the low punishment. Nandito si Devil Flicker in. Wow, Torrent pabalik. Iba DJ Pulado as that is the proc of the Bursting Fireball. Unti-unti nakakuha ang BSB dito ng kalamangan sa top lane pero may onting control pa rin. Ang Signal Ultra dito sa baba, Rhea, siya ang kumakat instead na si Wilson.
Actually, yung isa sa mga nagkakarakterize sa BSB, even back at Season 5, may likilaban talaga tong team na to, pumalag, kumbaga. Pero sa control sila eh. Doon sila nadadali. In a sense na parang understanding ng scaling ng kanilang composition. Ano talaga yung parang deal breakers. Hindi. But with this kind of aggression, maybe it will pay. Kasi again, nahihila nila yung Hayabusa ng kabila.
Nahihila at mukhang magkakahilaan dito sa bandang gitna dahil lumabas na ang Black Dragon form. Bursting Fireball coming in. Law punishment. Oh, napakandang reload ng diversion. Actually, dispersion pala from Imba DJ controlling everyone. Pero sabi dito ni Haring, ako din. Ako din. Kaya ko kumalmot with the Wolf Pounds. Imba DJ running for his life. Pero ayun, double kill mula kay Drix. Napagandang positioning sa BSB, kaibigang Shin.
And that is a very heavy miscalculation na yata dito para sa side ng Signal Ultra. They're an all millicom, tol. They're an all millicom. And you can actually see kung paano kinakapitalize ni Trevor. 2-0 to 1 that KDA. Lahat ay tatamaan eh. Tapos hindi naman kasi aaray yung kahit Kufra, umaaray sa Valir eh.
Mukhang hindi na nga actually umaaray din si Wilson dito ng kakaunti sa nangyayaring laban ha. But meanwhile, it is still Rhea controlling the bottom side. Pero before we talk about that, let's look at that replay. There you go. Man, Drix dito, free hit ha. Ang ganda.
And ang rewarding lang, makikita mo yung pagka-minimal damage ni Hades talaga. Like, not enough to even be a heavy threat onto Trevor. I'm not so sure do kung saan binato ni saan binato ni
Hades.
Yung kanyang Ugi Shadow Kill. Kasi touch masyado din yung Valor dito. Maybe ginamit niya lang siguro para mag-face out shot, hindi siya ma-target ng spell. Probably used it defensively.
Siguro, ang mahirap din kasi dito, yung setup doon na nagawa ng side ng Signal Ultra not in sync. And again, ang ganda na naging farm ni Drix. Napag-usapan natin to kanina. Pag nabigyan mo yung Roger, parang link din yan eh. Nabigyan mo yung Roger ng umpisang farm at nabigyan mo ng damage, kakalmutin ka kasi easy access siya sa'yo eh. Dali lang gamitin eh. Mag-wolf form ka lang kasi sa swipe mo lang tapos kung sino yung harap mo, easy access. At kapag lamang ang damage, pwede kang mapatay. May pang nakuwang, meron pa nakuwang turtle shield ang si Drix dito. So more confidence on his side. Ito na kaya,
they need to start stalling actually as early as now. They need to start stalling as early as now. I cannot but tell na kulang pa yung item ng ating Hayabusa. they need to start waiting out for positional mistakes dito ng BSB because I think parang hindi posible mangyari yon mula sa side ng BSB and they can quickly capitalize on that. I've seen Signal Ultra play from behind heavily. You know, even against dati Archangel, di ba, during that qualifiers, it was a totally one-sided game. Tapos isang ult lang in PJ. They were able to snap out a very nice position against the flank ng kalaban nila. And that's where this kind of ultimate shines. Ang inaalala ko lang talaga is napapanish ngayon yung offlane nila, yung side lanes nila, even the Hayabusa funnel. I cannot but feel na baka mas impacting pa sana si Haze kung naging Lancelot.
Hey, no, mas grabe yung tempo.
Oo.
Mas grabe yung tempo. But mind you, still the Hayabusa is a threat to the Valier.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Undoubtedly mambot pa din. I'm interested kasi dito sa bottom side eh. Parang kanina, parang nung game 1, lumalamang din sa kuha ng objectives itong side ng BSB. But then again, on the macro perspective, Shinbu, 'di ba? Parang nangyayari ulit kasi on the bottom side, Rhea is doing fine. And like what you've said, kailangan lang ni Rhea ng magandang flank. Parang kanina. And ngayon na okay yung farm niya, posibleng mangyari din yung ganon. Lalo na't Yuzong siya, no? Lalo na't Yuzong siya this time na gustong tabi-tabi yung mga kalaban. We are now coming into the mid-game ng ating laro. Men, yung Hayabusa pick this time, hindi siya nakakuha ng magandang start. Pero parang parang hindi pa rin ganun kalayo eh kasi
hindi ganun kalayo.
Oo, hindi ganun kalayo eh. Parang mamaya pa siguro pag nakuha pa ng 2 kills.
Yeah, kailangan ng stall. Kailangan talaga ng stall out. Hindi na pwede magharapan, lugi, matatalo yung kasi kahit yung tanks nila, pwedeng return na lang ng
Roger.
Totally online na yung Roger, i-double buff pa lang na yun. Actually, ewan ko nga kung ano ba to, may lawi. But to kasi ako nalalawi na rin dun sa post na nangyayari. But of course, we have no control over that din naman.
Yeah.
Especially if there are ongoing issues then or there are some technical problems then mula sa side ng mga players natin. We have to account for that. Pero balita ko naman, yung MPL natin, mas magkakaroon na tayo ng on-site sessions din naman.
Malapit.
Just by the way.
Para sa buong tournament, of course we want to make sure that everything is fine, no? Not just in the casting, in the prod side, but even in the game, no? So again, tamang chillax lang muna tayo. Kalma lang muna tayo diyan. Mga guys, BSB ang lamang pa din ngayon, Shinbu, and ako fan kasi ako ng Muji eh. Fan ako ng We Are Electric. At hindi malayo eh. Pa yung sinasabi mong flank, parang hindi malayong mangyari eh.
Ni Imba DJ. And with this kind of composition naman, pag tiningnan mo yung comp dito ng BSB, minus the Roger, pwede naman man-disrupt pa yung Louis. Sa may harapan. But just play it very defensively. Basta do not fight full-blown fights. Kasi in terms of layering ng spells, matatalo talaga yung Signal Ultra in terms of damage din. What they can do, manage side lanes, bantala yung side lanes nila because baka doon na rin pumansin yung mga taga BSB. And also try to rush the purple buff
na naman
on that part. That's one. And also, they could utilize the Copra in anticipating a gank against the purple buff. If you are able to secure the purple buff na for your Hayabusa, mambaot na.
Play safe. We know Signal Ultra by Des. No, we know na ganun sila maglaro. I think kung itong Signal Ultra ay magsusstall, the way for BSB to definitely win this is to be aggressive na. No? Yun yung kapatian. Talagang prepared. And mukhang Shinbu, habang may pause tayo, i-invitein ko muna yung mga audience natin na sumali dito sa ating giveaway code. Screenshot nyo na tong giveaway code dito sa baba and log in to the Mobile Legends redeem code site dahil limited lang ang pwedeng makanalo ng ating limited. And mga keyboard warriors,
Napakarami nating gold sa isipin mo buong 65 days na broadcast natin.
Dapat tayo dyan.
Okay,
Move
gold.
on.
Pero ayun nga, codes will be flashed on the screen. Dito kayo bumantay. We have a new one actually flash in. So, antabay kayo lagi dito sa live streams natin.
Kalma lang kayo dyan. Oo.
Yes.
Kalma lang kayo. Ayan, again guys, ayan, may bago na namang code na lumabas. I-open nyo na yung inyong MLBB and just search nyo lang yung MLBB team site. And kapag nilagay nyo yung ID nyo doon, may merong confirmation message sa inyo sa MLBB. Paunahan yan guys. Again, limited lang po ang laman ng codes na yun. Hindi natin alam kung anong laman yan. Malay mo, may...
Tayo dito, tol, no? Bumoto tayo dito, di ba? Kanina.
Oo nga.
I mean, hindi tayo dalawa, like yung buong team, no? Signal yata, no? Walang nag-iba.
Oo.
Pwede
Kasi
mag-1-1 pa. Pwede
Parang
mag-1-1.
Oo.
Pwede na mag-1-1 BSB.
Men, yung sinasabi mo kanina na na galaw ni Ana na pagiging agresibo, nagagawa nila ngayon kasi lamang sila eh.
Yeah.
No? And kanina nagsosolo siya on the show. Ngayon, I think mas natutunan nila na nagsosolo si Ana, lamang tayo ngayon. Pwede natin i-try na samahan ngayon si Ana. Remind you, this is a Tams that can pull off miracle lifesteal plays. Hindi niya kailangan ng killing spree, no? Ultimate niya lang, okay na siya. And ang daming pang dive in ngayon ng side ng team BSB.
Compared to show kanina ni Ana, sa late game mas okay ipang dive yung Tams. Diba?
Oo. Pag late game, alam mo yung Tams, kahit sino kahit Yishon-shin, kaya niyan i-one-on-one eh. Kahit galing eh. Depende talaga yan. But again guys, I hope na nakuha niya yung codes dahil babalik na tayo dito sa ating game. Sinabi ni Shinbu dito na kailangan mag-stall ng Signal Ultra at kailangan maging agresibo ng BSB.
Habang malayo pa yung mapa. Nabantayan nyo pala, pa 4-minute mark, ewan ko, dahil siguro parang tumagal lang tayo, because of the pause. Pero objectives are not that so evident mula sa side dito ng BSB. They've only taken third despite the lead that they're already holding to. Malaki na po ang 2K pagdating sa pro play.
Mukhang it rhymes, Kuya Shin. At mukhang okay pa rin dito si paring Rhea, pero hindi na okay yung kanilang Torre as BSB narinig ata.
I-translate objectives and they are doing so. And look at that, nangahabol na sila, tol.
Umikot, oo nga, nangahabol na. Kailangan nilang pumalag dito. In the mid lane, a nice vacuum plus knock up coming in from Insanity and EDJ, but the dash is not enough. The Balmond Wilson will actually go for the execute kill. Meanwhile, may nagaganap na dito sa mid. Quadrado in and Trevor! Oh no, tinamaan ng dispersion. Signal Ultra, nakakabawi pa rin ng onti dito.
Nakakachingas actually. Pero ang hindi magandang balita dito, si Chuzin, nasa solo kill. Nasa solo kill ni Wilson. So they need to be careful on that one. Balmond is totally now online. We might be seeing the very first victory ng isang Balmond dito sa MPL. Again, yung ultimate ng Balmond dito, Kuya Shin, napakalaking execute. Meanwhile, execute. So, ma-execute dito ni Drix, si Kuya Rhea, but this is the life steal and the bottom side. Shin, pumapasok na tayo dito sa mid-game. Nakakuha ng mga macro objectives na ang BSB. Signal Ultra, makakabalik pa kaya? Dahil nakabuo na dito si paring Heptasis ng item. It's looking bad para doon sa naboto nating team. Sabi ng BSB, puprove naming mali kayo. Naman.
Look at the items right now.
Ang baliwan to pag itong series na to, klinosat ng BSB because tinalo po ng Signal Ultra ang Aura PH.
Oo nga. Kaya baliwan talaga, no?
Since sila ng BSB, di ba?
Oo, chingas is real talaga at mukhang kumichingas dito sa gitna. Si Cap1 and syempre ang tropa niya na si Trevor. Men, yung items na sinasuggest mo kanina, nandito na. Deadly Blade on the Chujin, pero hindi ina para patumbahin si Wilson. Wilson now has the Bloodlust. Actually, 2 core items na pala siya.
Si Wilson. Ang bilis mag-farm ng Balmond, pre.
Oo nga eh.
Bilis talaga mag-farm yan. Tapos kinurse helmet pa nga, no? Para talagang, alam mo yun, pag umiikot ka. Kasi you just want to cyclone sweep and just put yourself in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, that is the knock-up. Tapos yung girls pathway, Mamba out. Para dito pick up on sumubok ng initiation sa Hades dito, pero wala nagkapatayan. Meanwhile, dito na sa top lane, there you go, there's the Wolf Pounce. Pero ayun, yung ultimate dito ni Chujin para lang maka-out. Sati stretch on the Tyrant's Revenge. Apat dito sa side ng BSB ang aalis. Meanwhile, Black flicker out si Ana Banana, tumakbo Ana, at mas naging successful pa ang Signal Ultra sa pagpitas ng kalaban nila.
kunat ni Wilson has been doing those tower dives then, and look at that, Bensanity.
Oo, Bensanity, meron pa rin laban dito na magaganap. Oh, kinagat, mega kill para kay Drix. Confident na siya, pare. Ayun na nga, yung mga Wolf Pounds na sinasabi mo, Chujin doing his best. Nag-ultimate na, pero hindi magiging enough. This is the top lane BSB right now. This is their lane for the taking, Shinbu.
Parang ilagay mo lang talaga sa no? Pag-disrupt lang talaga yung Khalid, pero lagyan mo lang ng makunat sa lane niya. Pwede mong diretsuhin or lakarin na lang kahit ang dami niyang mga kids talaga in and out. But look at this. This is what we are saying of how Hades is just trying to stall out the game. And guys, the game will drag out. 8-minute mark with the leader by BSB. Ito pala yung nagtulak sa Torre. Ayan, kung paano kino-corner ngayon yung Khalid. They really want to totally shut down the Khalid na. And this might be a very big consequence in the composition ng Signal Ultra by the late game kung yung Khalid wala siya maging contribution sa laban. Sanity.
Speaking of contribution, ayun na nga, ladies and gentlemen, yung ultimate coming in from the Cupra Glorious Pathway na naman. Si Chujin ang best target dito. Meanwhile, Hades tumatakbo na din. Quad Shadow out, pero napakasigang tabi ni Drix. Lumipat ang Wolf Form at ayun, Wolf Dark Kalmot. Habang nag-sweep, paikot dito si paring Wilson na matitira ay si paring Rhea. Rhea, right now, falling down. Drix having the time of his life. 7-0-3 siya dito. Shinbu, at mga bullet pa nila si Hades. Balik na ang aso. Shinbu.
Yeah, napakahirap. That's another fight na naman. Ba't nilaban? Hindi talaga kaya eh. I mean, naka-double back pa naman yung Roger Rocker natin, mga tol. Talagang yan, nahataw yan.
Nahataw talaga yan, men. Ayun na nga, hataw na din. Pero sabi ni Drix, grabe pa rin. Ang lifesteal ko, at ayan, pero siya na lang mag-isa ang natira dito. Pause ang ating game. What happened? Shin?
Nakakabaliw yung Nakakabaliw yung boss, mga tol, pero ganda nung pasok dun ni Imba DJ, no? Ayun eh.
Yun na yun.
Alam mo naman, Signal Ultra, may brand yan na comeback Kings, di ba?
Yun na yun. And they know when to fight. They know when to play the right way, no? Parang alam nila pag lamang, alam nila to go. And mukhang crucial yung pwedeng mangyari doon sa bottom. Kasi, pulado si Drix. And kung mamatay si Drix, I think he is at 8-0. Shutdown yun. Kung mapunta yun kay Hades, huge spike ng gold.
Yeah.
At pwede makahabol sa items.
Hindi na. Ang very curious what is the running problem here on the side of BSB. But, so they've taken good control naman ng laro. And ayun yung isa sa mga heavy win conditions dito ng Signal Ultra. Again, prevent the engagements, especially if you are in the lead, and especially if you have a lot of map to spare. From the looks of it, BSB is not like a team who quickly converts their lead to an objective, no?
Yeah.
Kaya parang yung pressure nila every lead, parang nararamdaman mo kaya pa.
Parang gigil kasi sila masyado no? I get you kasi they've been getting kills. Pero the problem here is that kaka-kill, they tend to overstay their welcome in a certain lane. And nangyari yon kanina on them getting Chujin, the Khalid, na nagkaroon pa ng space in the bottom side. And this time, nakikita natin ngayon, after the pause, na eto na yung naging payment nila, eto na yung naging kapalit ng overstaying in the bottom side. It's looking dangerous right now. Ang laking swing nun, they're leading by 3K. It's huge, Shin. Pero with this shutdown, tignan natin yung spike mamaya kung ilan. Kasi ang taas nun eh, 8-0, malapit siya mag-godlike eh. Actually, godlike na nga ata.
Oo, doon ko rin mabanta. Kapos mid-fight, hindi natin alam kung ano yung mangyayari after that fight, guys. Pero ayun, please bear with us. There is of course technical pause coming in mula sa side ng mga players, no? I've heard it's coming from the BSB side. But again, guys, 1-0 pa rin naman yung series, no? The best part here is BSB is able to push this to a 1-1.
Yeah.
I cannot but feel that there's a lot of room for adjustment dito mula sa Signal by game number 3. But
there you go.
Nakakaduda lang ba? Hindi pala nakakaduda, pero ano din eh, kinakashi ng BSB yung lamang sa comp nila, no?
Oo nga eh. They know na lamang din sila sa sa utilities on pushing the searing torrent, the glorious pathway. We shall see. Shinbu, bumalik na tayo sa game. Nabuhay si Drix dito. He is at 803 level 14. Ang kalaban niya sa Hades level 13 lang, men. Nakakatakot. Itong Wolf at papasok na tayo sa Lord. Question mo Ano sa tingin mo kaya? Parang actually, ayan look at the mini-map right now. It seems like mas control pa rin ng Signal Ultra yung minion equilibrium.
They have to fight it, yun nga, na-maintain yung side lanes nila. They have to fight it in a 4v4 or 4v5. Kasi I don't think napaka-rewarding pag yung Khalid nahuli. Rather, nahuli. Pag yung Khalid sumali. Rather, nahuli pa dito ay si Hades. Ang bilis nun,
Ang bilis nun. Isang mabilis na kalmot. Guys, that is the tower down in the top lane. Pero papasok dito si Ben Sanity. Bouncing ball out. Sweep coming in from Wilson. Nandito na naman si Drix. Nagpabilis siya dito. Popping the second skill. And he will pop the ultimate again. Doing the pounce. At ayun yung Tyrant's rage na tatlo. Broadway coming in. Para kay Cap 1 dito. 2 heroes falling down. Shin, eto na yung sinasabi mo na kailangan nila ng mga worth it pick-offs. Pick-off type talaga. BSB at mukhang tatapatan pa ni Ana si Chujin dito sa bottom side. Chujin coming in. Pumasok siya dito ng Raging Sandstorm as Ana is going to fight this with the Lexil, of course, with the sights and the Chasm Link as well.
Wow.
Chujin, flicker out! Pero sabi ni Ana, marunong din ako mag-flicker. Meanwhile, sa top lane naman, pakikita natin dito ang Lord has been slain by Kuya Mo Wilson. At ayun, bumalik nga. Nakapatay dito. The Hylos will fall down. Wilson, pumapasok pa dito. Umiikot-ikot lang na Sarah G. Pero masan ang damage mo, Bobby 3. Wilson will actually take down a hero and 4 ang mawawala dito sa Signal Ultra BSB. Mukhang pipilitin nila ang game number 3.
At mukhang maswerte tayo sa clash na yun. Walang pause na nangyari, mga kaibigan. 7-18 tayo ngayon. And that is a very big encashment dito sa side ng BSB. With the Lord here, although the timers are relatively short, I cannot but feel that the wave clear is a little low. Low mula sa side dito ng Signal Ultra. They don't have the Color of Fire Saura Chang before that. Low Yi is not really that good in being played defensively rin for this wave clear. And maybe they could finish it, BSB.
Mukhang eto na nga ata ang katapusan. Mega kill, Wilson. Sabi namin hindi nyo kami pwedeng batain. This is our town. Horns up, says Team BSB. Take the victory for game number 2.
It's well done and medyo ang weird basahin, but because of the boss, no? But in terms of execution and how it was executed into the game. But to simplify things, guys, it may start on the way of how their funnel has taken good lead and hold on to that, no? Yun yung maganda eh. Dalawang purple buff. Nakuha niya rin yung kanyang red buff dito. And Signal Ultra wasn't able to gauge it. That's likely that can be done by the Roger. I don't see as well anyone who can really overwhelm the Roger in terms of damage. Medyo hindi ka talaga ganun kaganda yung early game damage din ng Hayabusa, no? Pag simula pa ng laro. And sunod-sunod na fights na natalo yung Signal dito. And ayun, BSB able to cash in, ganun lang.
At hinawakan lang ng BSB. Sabi ng BSB, Kuya Manjin, Kuya Shinbu, you want us to play macro? Papakitaan namin kayo ng micro to a macro.
Yeah.
No? Pick-offs after pick-offs after pick-offs, na-utilize nila yung pack na sobrang lamang ni Drix dito. Nabibitin man tayo sa team fights, well, hindi naman tayo nabitin sa games dahil papasok tayo sa game number 3. Man, all things said, all things said, mas maririnig pa natin ang ating post-analysis mamaya. Manggagaling yan kay kaibigang Wolf. So, wag kayong aalis guys. The post-analysis of this match is up next.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Welcome back to the MPL. Back in action, Wolf, your resident analyst para sa Game 2 ng BSB versus Signal Ultra. This is a full 3-game series na nakabawi ang BSB sa game number 2. And I like their adjustment. Ginulat nila ang fundamentals ng Signal Ultra by showing us that one pick that really changed the tides of this match. That is the Balman last pick. Who would have thought? Nasa professional play ngayon, ang pinaka-basic, hindi naman pinaka-basic, one of the first heroes that he'll ever control sa buhay natin sa Mobile Legends. Balmond ang makatalpa sa Signal Ultra. To kind of bring it down a little bit, this is a last picked Balmond if I'm not mistaken, and it answered a lot of the issues presented dito sa BSB. So far, yung BSB na setup nila, yung fact na meron silang Roger, they also have Hydas Valier. Very good when it comes to funneling Roger, specifically in the early game, para mapalakas siya sa first few minutes at mag-snowball from there. And that's exactly what happened. Now, Signal Ultra kind of answered with a decent amount of control. Instead of going for the Uranus, they went for Yuzhong plus the Khalid. And ano ba yung ng mga heroes na to? Just like the Uranus, das Esmeralda, ang ganda na kanilang sustain sa team fights. And the fact that they can survive for a long time, absorb damage, yun naging problema. However, it's the Balmond pick that really was a problem for these heroes. Problema din yung Balmond, definitely, for this Hayabusa dahil hindi ganun kadaling takedowns. One of the tankiest heroes out there. Tapos, ang ganda pa niya sa lane kasi si Khalid, normally, siya yung nagpapauwi ng mga kalaban pag kinarap mo. But Balmond is totally different. Balmond can sustain himself in the lane better than probably other heroes like the Yuzhong, for example. But I think yung pinaka key factor dito from the Balmond is that quote-unquote execute factor with the ultimate. Diba? The problem when you're facing like Uranus, the Khalid, your Yuzhong, ang galing nilang mag-regenerate or mag-sustain ng sarili when they are very low. But you cannot perform like that when you're facing up against the Balmond because of that ultimate. I always felt na ang sagot sa mga heroes na magaling mag-sustain is the execute mechanic or the actual ultimate like this coming out from the Balmond. Anyway, the smart highlights of the game, we can see that all of the team fights, the early stages now favored the side of BSB compared to the previous game. And lalong-lalo na yung mga fights around objectives, which I think is very important. Ang problema sa lineup ng Signal Ultra is they need to have these side laners like Tsuzin as well as Ria's Yuzhong plus the Khalid in the side lanes. Unfortunately, dahil mabilis yung tempo ng BSB with the Balmond, with this Roger as well as the Valier, hindi nakapag-keep up ang Signal Ultra. The fights that were forced by BSB in the early stages of the game will require Signal Ultra a lot of heroes para lang makamatch sila when it comes to firepower and sustain laban sa BSB. And unfortunately, hindi pa ready si Hayabusa, si Khalid, as well as Yuzhong when the fights did happen. Napakaganda sana ng idea dito ng Signal Ultra sa fast fight with the teleportation. However, they still lost it. Hindi nila napatay si Drix. That would have been perfect for Signal Ultra. which in turn resulted to this specific fight, the nail in the coffin, the Lord fight. Alam natin ang laki agad ng lamang